Hey everyone, it's Mr. Bologno, and thanks for joining me for another art activity. I thought it was a beautiful day in downtown Downers Grove, so we're going to do a flower close-up art activity. Next. Before we get started, I wanted to share a little bit about American artist Georgia O'Keeffe, who is known for her flower paintings. As you can see, I'm at the downtown Downers Grove train station, and I had to pull over and check out these beautiful tulips. Before we do that, check this out.
Little People, Big Dreams, Georgia O'Keeffe. Written by Maria Isabel Sanchez Vergara and illustrated by Erica Salcedo.
Little Georgia grew up with 6 brothers and sisters on a farm near Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. But while they played games, Georgia preferred to look at the world around her. At school, Georgia was always more inspired by the colors she saw through the classroom window than the numbers written on the blackboard. And when Georgia was 12, she told her mother she wanted to become an artist. She started lessons, and her drawings soon became the most impressive in the class. Georgia moved to Chicago and then New York to keep studying art. But everyone in the city was busy. They didn't have time to notice beauty in the little things around them. Little things like a flower. So she decided to paint that tiny flower by putting her nose very close to it. Suddenly, the littlest flower became the most enormous painting. No one could ignore its beauty. A famous photographer called Alfred saw Georgia's paintings and wanted to share her work with the world. He put together an exhibition of her art. Georgia's paintings left the public wide-eyed in amazement. They just couldn't work out what they were looking at. But Alfred understood her paintings. He was an artist too. Soon they realized they were made for each other and got married. Inspired by New York, Georgia decided to paint towering skyscrapers as only a child would have painted them. For her, the city was made of enormous squares. And when summer came, Georgia visited New Mexico. She immediately fell in love with the desert. She painted crosses, sand dunes, and even the skulls of dead animals. They were all fascinating to her. She loved every stone, every bone, and every color of the lonely desert. She painted every day for years in a house nestled between red hills. Nothing was too small or too ordinary for her. Through her art, Georgia flew all around the world to different museums. They called her the mother of American modernism. And today, you can see how the ordinary becomes extraordinary when you take the time to look at it as little Georgia did.
That was a really great clip on American artist Georgia O'Keeffe, so much so that I am inspired to draw one of these tulips. Now, if you're not able to enjoy this beautiful weather outside, let's say for instance you're in a classroom or at home, what you could do is Google search any flower that you want, take a screenshot, and go from there. Another option you have is if you look on Seesaw, I provided you with a couple of pictures that I took at the Downers Grove train station. Whatever you use, remember you're using it as reference. You are not tracing the photos, but you are looking at them and doing the best you can in making it in your own artistic style. Since I'm outside, I'm going to take my sketchbook and pencil and start drawing what I see. Enjoy this time lapse. Like I do with all of my sketches, I start with basic shapes as I look at this flower. Since it's a sketch, I'm not concerned about if my lines are perfect. What I am really looking for is trying to make the flower big enough where it fits beyond the sketchbook page. Now that I have my sketch all laid out, I then take my oil pastels and start coloring away. A quick tip if you're using oil pastels, I like using the color white to smoothen out the petals. Even here, you will see that I am looking at the photos I took with my iPad as I continue to color the rest of the picture. Voila! And here is my masterpiece all completed. I would think that Georgia O'Keeffe would be very proud of my work.
Well, that wraps up this lesson on flower close-ups inspired by the great artist Georgia O'Keeffe. On behalf of Mr. Bologna, this is Little Mr. Bologna, and we would like to thank all of you for joining us. Remember, if you have any questions at all, ask your art teacher on Seesaw. All right, take care, everyone. Enjoy this beautiful day. Goodbye.
Special shout out goes to these Whittier artists who were walking by and noticed me working on this video lesson. Thanks for joining me, girls!